So you need to understand the institution of marriage. It's about bringing a certain sanctity to the simple basic needs that every human being has. There are physical needs, there are psychological needs, there are economic needs, emotional needs, social needs, variety of needs. To fulfill all these things, we set up an institution called marriage where all this can be conducted in a sensible manner.
The needs within a human being have risen because of a certain sense of incompleteness. People are forming relationships to experience a certain sense of completeness within themselves. When you have a good relationship with someone dear to you, you feel complete. When you don't have that, you feel incomplete. Why is this so? Because this life, this piece of life, is a complete entity by itself. Why is it feeling incomplete? And why is it trying to fulfill itself by making a partnership with another piece of life? Fundamental reason is that we have not explored this life in its full depth and dimension. Fundamentally, why have we sought a relationship? Because you find yourself that without a relationship, if you do not have any kind of relationship in your life, then you become depressed. So, fundamentally you're seeking a relationship because you want to be happy, you want to be joyful. Or in other words, you're trying to use the other as a source of your happiness. If you're happy by your own nature, now relationships will become a means for you to express your happiness, not to seek happiness. If you're forming relationships to seek happiness and trying to squeeze happiness out of somebody, and that person is trying to squeeze happiness out of you, now this is going to be a painful relationship after some time.
A full life is considered 1008 cycles of the moon, which will approximately considered as 83 to 84 years. So if one crosses 84, it's considered a full life. In this, the first quarter is the only time when it is connected to parentage. After that, the child must move, because energy-wise, you cannot connect those two lives anymore. So that is when the longing, if you have not created enough integrity within yourself, the longing for another body multiplies. Even though the hormonal phase may be higher between 15 to 20, the longing to bind and bond with somebody increases after 21 years of age, because unknowingly you're like a satellite who fell off the main mother. You come off the motherboard. Now you want to attach to something unless you find some integrity. This is why between 12 and 18, one must do lot of sadhana to strengthen the body so that you don't desperately bind yourself to something or somebody. You must consciously, if you wish to take a partner, it must be a conscious process. If it's a compulsive process, then you will pay the price for it. This is not a question of morality. It is not that this is sin, that is sin. The question is, what is your priority in your life? If your priority is to make this life rise to a higher possibility, then you must be conscious. If you want to somehow live and go, it's okay.
There are expectations and expectations and expectations and expectations. The expectations that most people are creating are such that there is no human being on the planet who could ever fulfill those expectations. In the process of holding a relationship, the first moment of meeting, the expectations may be common, but as every step that we take in life, the expectations may become different. Because these expectations keep changing in people, they're not consistent, and they cannot be. One person may be consistent with the same expectation throughout their life, another person's expectations may be changing because his perception and experience of life is changing. Now, relationships become great conflict. More conflict is happening within the four walls of the homes than is happening anywhere on the planet. Only thing is, bombs are not exploding, so you don't hear it. They may be giving each other silent treatment. It is happening because people's expectations are changing and they're not changing at the same pace.
See, in the course of living together, people, today you got into some kind of situation in the evening, today you thought, this is it, I don't want to see your face again, finished. But tomorrow morning you're again in love. Hasn't this happened to you any number of times? Unfortunately, most human beings are still like this, isn't it? They can't be so aware and every day they can manage everything beautifully. That's not how it's going, life, isn't it so? Ugly things happen, isn't it, in beautiful relationships? Don't they happen? Even in most beautiful relationships, ugly incidents are happening, isn't it so? To sustain those moments of ugliness, you need some support system. If there's just two idiots are there, they'll break. So, once children come, it gets a little more difficult. But he must be punished. Either by you or somebody, he must be punished. Already enough punishment has been given, isn't it? Already it's been given. The ugliness, the nastiness, the silent treatment, everything has happened. So what more punishment you want to give? Your thing is there is no remorse on the other side. There's no remorse on the other side because people are doing what they want to do, not what you want them to do, always. And that may not be in your interest, but they're doing what they want to do. Is it right, wrong? I'm not going into the morality of it. I want you to understand the mechanics of the situation. Somebody is doing what they want to do. Now you think they must be punished. Probably they have not broken any law, otherwise they would be anyway punished. They're breaking an understanding between two people. Probably you misunderstood the understanding. You believed that these understandings are absolute. They are not. Nowhere in the history of humanity or today or in any time in future will human relationships be absolute. Though every person who gets little romantic believes that this is going to be an absolute relationship, there is no such thing about it. A relationship is a variable, always. You have to conduct it on a daily basis. One day if you don't conduct it properly, it may go somewhere. Yes or no? No, please look at it as it is. You have to conduct it right. So, no, I'm doing my best. Obviously somebody feels your best is not good enough for them. No, I want you to come to terms with this. This is not about… I'm not saying what they're doing is right or wrong, that's not for me to say. All I'm saying is, this is how human beings are functioning for ages and still are. I'm saying, first of all, you need to understand, relationships will never ever be absolute. There will be variables that it's juggling that you have to do. If you're juggling with fireballs, sometimes it'll spill out. Takes lot of skill and attention. Yes or no? You married, many of you. Doesn't it take a lot of skill and attention? If you don't pay any attention, you don't know what the hell is happening. It takes a lot of attention, isn't it?
Meditate upon the mountain, keep somebody pretty and nice. That'll help you to be entangled in the limitations that you live.
Body has such a deep-rooted memory. So this entire body, what you have, is essentially a certain integrity of memory. If that loses that memory integrity, then you will see it will become vulnerable to so many things. Now, the nature of the body is such that anything that you touch with a certain level of involvement will naturally absorb that memory. Not mentally, physically it'll absorb that memory. Traditionally in this culture we call this runanubandha. You heard of such a word? Runanubandha. What this means is, physical memory that you gather In India, if you see older generation of people, if you try to shake their hands, they'll do like this, because they don't want to get runanubandha with you. Because the idea is to keep the integrity of your body's memory in such a way that it doesn't become vulnerable to other things, that you become a very integrated life. If you want to nurture yourself to be a certain possibility, then you have to maintain the memory integrity. This is what runanubandha means. You keep your physical memory to the minimal. A sexual interaction is something where a huge amount of memory is taken from one to the other. So always, not in this society, everywhere else, forever people saw the advantage of keeping that memory to the minimal. If you make that memory very complex, you will see to be at ease will become very difficult after some time. There will be pleasure, but there will be no joy in your life. You can observe people, don't go by what I'm saying. You can observe people, they will have pleasure, they will giggle all the time, but you look at them, there is no joy in them, there's no ease. Because the ease will go away with excessive memory. This is not only with sexuality, there are many other things that you do like this. When you were 12, 15, you thought, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll go to the moon. But you saw the neighborhood girl and started calling her the moon. Moon disappeared. So, like this, in everybody, the possibility is wide open. The thing is, can you sustain the process and allow it to become that possibility?
Somebody is constantly like this, you want to build rapport with that person, but you don't want to go his way. That takes lots of endurance. Yes or no? People whom you love are not easy.
This is a time when life knocks at your door like this, it's time you look deeper rather than reacting and trying to fix somebody else. Punishing somebody else is not going to transform your life, not going to make your life beautiful in any way. Some sick satisfaction you'll have for 2 days, after that you'll feel guilty about that also. Yes, initially when this emotion is hot, it gives you satisfaction. After some time when you look back, you'll feel ashamed of yourself. So don't go that way. In trying to punish somebody, you will only end up punishing yourself. They're doing what they want to do. It's best that you see what is it that you really want with your life. You don't have to react to them and do something stupid like them. Human relationships are variables, needs lot of attention. So that's why some people decide in their life, they don't have the time and the energy to manage such things, so they take another path where there is no such obligation. They close their eyes, they're by themselves, they don't care who is around them, what's around them.
When Gautama was asked this question, is it better to walk alone on the path or with a companion? He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. He's not saying don't walk with anybody, he's not saying don't have companions, but he said it's better to walk alone than walk with a fool. Because they can drain you, they can take such a lot of energy and time, and you don't know, they may be stronger than you and they may take you their way than you taking them your way. There's every possibility. Yes?
You just have to sit down and look at this. When your illusions are broken, you're disillusioned right now, it's a very good thing. If your illusions are broken, that means life is bringing you closer to reality, isn't it? So this is an opportunity for you to sit down and see, what is the nature of my life? Why is it? See, this piece of life is a complete piece of life, isn't it so? Is it half a life? Are you a half a life or a full life? Full life. Why is it that it feels so incomplete that it needs another person to fill this life? Why is it? It's time to look at it, isn't it? If this is a full life, this is complete by itself. But right now, you made it in such a way that this cannot exist with that one and that one, without that one and that one and that one.
So somewhere it's an incomplete life, or at least it has not realized the fullness of its nature, isn't it? This is a complete piece of life, packed with creator and creation together. Very great combination.
All these things happen to me. Body happened to me, thoughts happen to me, emotions happen to me, marriage happened to me, children happen to me, but I'm just a piece of life. If you have clearly seen the small events of your life, when I say small events, I mean your business, your marriage, your children, all those big things. All these things are just a stepping stone. Your life is about mukti. Your marriage, your business, your social life, these are all just means to get there. Either you go with it or you go without it. But whether you are a sannyasi or you're in the samsara, your only goal is mukti. Yes? The goal was not just for the sannyasi, for everybody it is mukti. If you can walk alone, you walk alone. You want party going with you, you walk with the party. That's your choice. You want to get there quick, you walk alone. You want to go there having picnic on the way slowly, you go with people. Choice is yours. But the important thing is, whatever the hell you're doing, there's only one goal.
If you wish to take people who are around you with you, if you want to walk alone, it's very easy. If you want to take people with you, then it takes a considerable amount of effort.
Is it a process? For sure it's a process. But can everybody see the process, identify the process? No. When somebody is evolving on the spiritual path, others thought he's a nutcase. Somebody thought he's vagrant, somebody thought he's a vagabond, somebody thought he's something else. But when the sweetness came, everybody who tasted realized that this is a fantastic thing.
So different people need different kinds of impetus. If you're sensible, you learn by just looking. If you're not sensible, you learn by thrashing. Life will thrash you. The material part of your life is never 100% proper, it never can be, isn't it so? Is there any family which is a perfect family? Is there any relationship which is a perfect relationship? Is there any business which is a perfect business? Is there any career which is a perfect career? There is no such thing, don't seek that. Your life will become wasteful and fanciful if you seek such things. They all happen to the extent you're capable of handling them, that's all. So, you make sure the spiritual part of your life, you handle it 100% properly. This is a great opportunity somebody has given you. Stop using this word, somebody cheated me. Just say somebody is pushing you towards ultimate reality from an illusory state. We must thank that person. We must be grateful. Instead of keeping you in an illusion, instead of keeping you in your life for a whole lifetime, so soon they're making you realize this. Otherwise you will know this at the time of your death.